right, Sports Talk Nation. Welcome back once again. It's your host, the G-Man. Today we're going to continue our discussion of a 2016 team-by-team preview from a fantasy perspective. Today it's those Houston Texans on the clock, and surprisingly, for a team that was built on defense last year and had just horrendous quarterback play, they're a team that offers a lot of options to a fantasy player. We're actually going to start at the back end with the defense. Not only do they get after the passer, do I think that their total points giving up is going to fall dramatically, or at least be back in line where it was in the middle of the year before J.J. Watt got hurt. I think they're going to turn the ball over a little more this year. As those corners become a little more secure and comfortable, they continue to feed off of that pass rush up front. I think they're going to be able to turn the ball more. So defensively, I absolutely have the Texans in my top 10. From an offense perspective, from a quarterback spot, Osweiler is too big of a gamble to be anything more than a backup at this point. I'd put him as a low-end backup. I think with the right matchup, if it's going to be a high-scoring game, I guess you can plug him in there. And it's ironic that I consider him in that spot because I do think they have some other talent that I take a shot on. I love Lamar Miller this year. I'm an unabashed Lamar Miller fan. I've always thought he was better than he got credit for and opportunities for. I still don't think he's going to wind up with much more than 200 carries, but I think he'll get 3 to 4 long touchdown runs. I think he's going to catch 50 to 60 balls because I think he's a good receiver. So I think with all of that, he is actually a low-end number one running back to me. I'd consider him in that 10 to 14 range, so he's a low-end number one to me. From a backup perspective, I guess you can worry about Alfred Blue to vulture some touchdowns because I do think they're going to try to keep Miller fresh, but Miller's the guy between the 20s and also in the passing game, so I wouldn't focus too much on that. Wide receiver, again, DeAndre Hopkins, absolute animal last year. With 4 different guys throwing to him, most of which with no more ability than I have, he was just absolutely spectacular. I expect that he will be just as spectacular, but I do expect his numbers to fall a little bit, simply because they have more options at their disposal, and it doesn't do a team good to focus all of your attention on one guy like that. So I still think he's a clear number one wide receiver. An argument can be made that he's as high as 4th after, I would say, Antonio Brown, Beckham, and Julio Jones. The argument could be made that he's right in there 4 to 6. That's probably where I'd put him, between that 5 to 8 range as wide receivers. But I think he's got a chance to be really good again this year. Will Fuller is an interesting guy for me. He's more of your hit and miss guy. He's like a young Deshaun Jackson. I think what he'll do is he'll have 3 games where he has 60-yard touchdown catches. There's going to be games where he completely disappears because he does have some drop problems, and they're not going to integrate him into the crossing patterns, I wouldn't think. He's going to be more of a deep threat. I would like to talk to you about the tight ends, but I have nothing to say. CJ Federowicz, I wouldn't take him. Let's put it that way. If you have to take 2 tight ends, he still wouldn't be one of the tight ends I take. So from an offensive perspective, they do have some tools. Look to a number one running back, a number one wide receiver to come from the Houston Texans. And with your 2016 team-by-team fantasy preview of the Houston Texans, I'm your host, the G-Man, and I am out.